video is intended to give you an idea about the layout of essential question number one, which has changed significantly from prior terms. Show you how it's going to be marked and how you should actually mark these when you're taking them. This is supposed to be a sample and isn't look that much like the real ones that are there. What you'll commonly see is some kind of setup. Tells you what kind of business you're playing with. In this case, I just wrote something kind of clever like consider a random business, but it'll usually be things like, a coffee shop or a brewery or something along those lines. The second page will be a key which lays out what the answers should look like. And please note that the answers will always be this moves here, and this moves here, and this moves here, and this moves here. If you're ever marking and you see that you've only put like one change in one of those areas, you're probably wrong. The front page has some additional markings along the side right over here. What we'll do when we grade them is that we'll put a circle around the answers that you got correct, a slash through the ones that you got wrong, and if you get 6 out of the 8 correct, you'll be marked as a pass up here. Anything more than that, you'll be marked as a no pass. When we mark, we usually keep on marking until we get to a determination on whether you passed or not, which means if we grade questions 1 through 3, and it turns out you missed all 3 of those, we stop marking, circle no pass, and we're kind of done grading. It's up to you to go back to take a look at what the key was to see what else you did wrong. While we are marking, we'll tend to circle these things right here if we notice some common wrong answers and the reason why you got there. This one right here where it says new rev is not an asset basically says that you're mistaking either something that goes on the income statement for something that goes on the balance sheet, or something that goes on the balance sheet for something that goes on the income statement. This one right here about defs, we generally will circle that one if we can't figure out what your problem is, because you're doing all sorts of weird things like having an expense that is showing up as just a decrease in net cash flow, something weird like that we can't put in. This one is generally circled if you forget that the balance sheet must in fact balance, meaning if you have an increase in assets, you must also have an offsetting increase in liabilities or owner equity, or a decrease in assets to offset an increase in other kinds of assets. This one right here we circle if you have a pattern of seeing up arrows instead of down arrows, getting the sign conventions wrong. And this is particularly important when you're looking on the cash flow side of things. And this last one that we have here is just an indication that there is a common cash flow echo from changes that happen on the income statement. So things that have a result that changes in net income tend to change also cash from operations. Things which show changes in assets tend to also have changes in investments. Things which change liabilities and owner equity tend to change things over here in finance. Let's also take a look now at the marking that's supposed to take place. And so I'll switch over to a little pen indicator here. And I'm looking at question number 1, which is some story about expenses increasing. The way you'd indicate it is draw yourself a nice little 1 right here and then say, expenses are supposed to increase. And so put a little 1 and an up arrow there. That'll also have an effect on net income. You can put the net effect on net income down there if you want to, but we generally use it as kind of a, how should I put this, a makeup call. If you don't know for sure what category things fit in, you can often put this and then we'll say, oh yeah, we'll give you kind of half credit for that one. Changes like this increase in operating expenses are supposed to reduce net income, and that's also supposed to, if you look at the keys, result in a decrease in cash from operations. So I just put a 1 there and a decrease there. So when you're done, you'll see lots of numbers and ups and down arrows along here. Please remember, if you have a change in a category like assets, if, for example, you purchase an asset for cash, you'd see both an increase in one kind of asset, whatever it is that you purchased, and a decrease in another kind of asset, depending upon what you purchased. You have a number by it too, so you'd indicate there would be increases and decreases in assets there. Anyway, that's the end of this introduction to what essential question number 1 looks like.